All right, y'all, I'm sober. 68 days ish sober. That means no alcohol, guys. And today I'm going to share with you the good, the bad, and the ugly of not drinking alcohol for 68 some days. Now, first of all, it started out as a 30-day no alcohol challenge. And just for a disclaimer, I'm not actually quitting alcohol. It's just that I was going through a quick detox, and because I liked the benefits so much, I decided to extend it for another 30 days. So there were a couple occasions where my mouth touched a little bit of alcohol, and we'll share that as well as I go through the positives and the negatives of what I went through. Now, the last time I talked to you guys, I think it was like in June sometime, and I was talking about my mental health. And just for a quick little recap on that, I think my mental health has definitely been better. It's improved, and I think it could be potentially because, you know, I've been kind of putting some protocols in place to make sure, you know, like I mentioned in that episode, to make sure I'm doing good with my mental and physical state. So let's go ahead and jump right into this episode. We're talking about how I detoxed for 60 plus some days, and, you know, how it was and what I went through. And I'm going to share with you some of the benefits that I enjoyed about no drinking alcohol. So why did I start to do this? So back in, I would say, June, actually. Well, actually, it was more like towards the end of May. Early June is when I decided to actually do the no alcohol for 30 days. And I think it was right after Memorial Day. And I just wanted like a quick little reset, because I think before I decided to do the no alcohol detox, it was like I felt like I was just kind of, you know, maybe overdoing the alcohol drinking a little bit, going out a few times out of the week. And even if I wasn't going out, I might have had maybe one or two drinks pretty daily. I would say at least 2 drinks a day, maybe more than on some days, you know, like maybe the weekends I might binge just a tiny bit. Some days I might go for 3 beers versus the daily requirement for alcohol. For men, I know you can go up to at least 2 drinks a day to be kind of considered more like moderate drinking. And for women, I think it's 1 alcoholic drink a day for it to be considered in moderation. So obviously I was abusing the alcohol drinking just a little tiny bit. So I was just like, you know what, I think it's time for a reset. So that's what I ended up doing. You know, I was in Orlando, right, I think Memorial Day weekend, so this was perfect. You know, I went binged a little bit out in Orlando, Florida for a gig, and then came home the day right after Memorial Day and was like, okay, here it is, let's get it going. So actually I started on May 31st, day right after Memorial Day. I think Memorial Day was on a Monday, so that Tuesday when I flew into San Diego, I was like, you know what, this is gonna start my little 30-day no alcohol challenge. At first it was just going to be for maybe 14 days, but then I just realized, you know what, it might as well just go ahead and do 30 days and get it, you know, and just see how everything works. Now, this isn't my first 30-day no alcohol challenge. I did this a few years ago. I actually documented it on my personal YouTube channel. You can find that on Jannard Sutton. Also, I've documented the 30 days plus the 60 days no alcohol. So if you want to go to my YouTube channel, you can go check that out. I'll put the link in this in the bio here on this episode, so that way in the description, you know, anything I mention, I'll provide links and stuff like that. Real quick, another disclaimer, I'm no doctor, and this is all my results, and this is how I was able to adapt to no alcohol in my system. I don't know where you're at in your journey, or I don't know if you're considered doing this, but if you're seriously into drinking quite a bit, and you don't think you'll be able to handle it, because there are some really bad withdrawals when it comes to stop quitting alcohol. So if you think you're one of those that might need some assistance, I would definitely talk to your doctor before doing any of what I did. I don't consider myself I'm an alcoholic, and I don't think that I need alcohol to really cope. I think because I live here in San Diego, I think it's just more of a cultural thing and of course social, but there's literally like a brewery on almost every corner in San Diego, and I mean it's really good beers. I mean, we have a great craft cocktail culture here as well, here in San Diego, that's up and coming. So there's just, there's so many places, so many restaurants, so many craft cocktail places, so many breweries to just check out here in San Diego. So it's more of a cultural thing, and it's really nice to be able to try different beers. But again, I felt like I kind of abused that, especially in my industry, being a photographer, videographer. I find myself a lot of times, doing a lot of working in the industry with, hospitality and restaurants. So a lot of times I'm doing a lot of photography and video work within the food and beverage industry. So plus I had a segment at one point called Behind the Stick, and I was going out pretty weekly featuring bartenders and stuff like that, and working from home. I used to live right across the street from a brewery. Big shout out to Fall Brewing, and I'll just go take my laptop and have like 2 to 3 beers. I mean, daily, 2 to 3 beers just with my laptop, getting some work done, during the day. So it's just so convenient to just, sometimes breweries are like coffee shops, you can just seriously take your computer, get some work done, and instead of having a cup of coffee, you can have like a couple beers and be done with it, So, so I'm not, so going back to what I was saying, I don't really, consider myself an alcoholic, but I just needed that detox, and I think, coming home after, a long weekend of work, I think it was just, it was just good for me. I was like, what, I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight. I don't need the extra, calories from alcohol, and I really do need a clear mindset. I got a lot of work that's going to be coming up here in June and July, so I just want to be really spot on and have a clear mindset so I can just push through things and be very productive. So that was kind of like my mission. I just went in. On top of that, I wanted to see if the health benefits are true. A lot of people raved about being able to sleep better, having a clear mindset, and some people lost weight and people save money. And so I was just like, what, I want to try this for myself. So because of that, I want to talk a little bit about the positives, and sometimes with positives come negatives. So we'll talk a little bit about those as well as they come up. And I might share a few little challenges that I had within at least the first 30 days, because I think the first 30 days was the most important challenge for me, and that's what we're going to really talk a little bit about, even though like I said, I've gone at least 68 days, and I will share the 2 occasions that I maybe had a sip of something. We'll share that as well. If you've noticed, it almost sounds like I might be whispering a little bit. It's only because it's a little late at night. I'm kind of doing some errands. Like I'm doing some laundry, so I'm in between the wash and the dry. So I'm actually in a drying cycle. So I figured, let me just knock out a quick 15-minute video. I'm sorry, 15-minute podcast while I'm doing laundry. And then, Lisa's, going to bed. We're in different rooms. Plus, we have the AC running. Not the AC, but we have like the fan running. So, her door is closed. Plus, my office door is closed. So, I don't think she would hear me per se. But I just want to be mindful that it is late. So, that's why I'm probably whispering. Just wanted to throw that disclaimer out there too. I probably should have mentioned that earlier. But let's just get back to it. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my positives. I have like maybe a few, maybe about 10. I'm going to run through these real quick because I just wanted to share these. And if you're ever thinking about doing a detox, or if you have done a detox and you can kind of relate with me, let's have a conversation about it. Shoot me over some comments and let me know you listen to the podcast and some of these benefits or some of the negatives you went through as well. We can kind of like share and feed off each other's experiences or whatnot. So let's get to it. All right, so first thing I definitely want to point out was the sleep was way better, and the sleep is continuing to be way better. I always, felt like, I get good sleep, or the sleep is, decent or whatever, but lately, like when I wake up, I feel so refreshed and I just feel good. The dreams are not as random as they used to be. I feel like I can remember all my dreams a little bit better. Now, the first couple weeks, this could be a negative, but the first couple weeks, it was kind of hard to sleep. Like, I felt like I was staying up a lot later than I usually do. And I feel like I'm still kind of doing that today, like I feel like I'm still finding myself staying up a little later, staying up till 2-3 in the morning, sometimes even 4, trying to get to sleep. Sometimes my mind just still wanders off and I get caught up on watching stuff on my phone. So I just need to learn how to just shut things off at a certain hour. But definitely sleep was a lot better. I definitely will say that. My blood pressure, that was is another noticeable thing that I've noticed from just not drinking alcohol, y'all. Seriously, like I said, I was a daily drinker. I mean, my blood pressure was usually ranging around 124 over 82, or sometimes it'll peak up to like 130 over 85 or whatever, because as you all know, I do have high blood pressure, and it's been a battle of mine for a few years now. So for the fact that I just I noticed my blood pressure way better. I mean, within 2 weeks of not drinking alcohol. 2 weeks, like now my blood pressure is like insane, like lower than it was. Like my now my blood pressure probably averages around like 115 over like 74. Sometimes some days when it peaks, it'll be like 178 over 178. I meant 117 over like 78 or something like that. And sometimes it gets really low. That can be kind of concerning. Like it'll get down to like 110 over like 70, and I'm like, wow, that's really, to me, that's really good numbers, because I've never had those numbers before. So when I see like 110 over 70, I'm like, wow, that's like actually what normal blood pressure is supposed to look like. And plus I think it also helps that I am trying to get a lot more sleep. I think sleep, exercise, and all that stuff obviously plays into good blood pressure. Plus I'm eating a little bit better as well. Not so much currently, but I'm getting back on track, because when you get on the scale and you can see that your shirts are fitting a little bit better, it really motivates you to kind of like not only exercise, but eat a little bit better, because when you eat better, you feel better and you just look better. So yes, blood pressure is way better. Normal. I'm like so excited to go to the doctor's office in October, just to be like, hey, look at this, y'all. My blood pressure is like actually scary low for me, because I've never had normal blood pressure before. Well, I have, but I mean, like I said, it's been high recently, so it's kind of nice. Another thing that I've noticed that I think is a positive is like I just have more energy. I mean, the first couple weeks, I might have been going through a little bit of withdrawals, feeling a little tired, a little slow, because I don't think I was getting enough sleep, period. And also I just felt like I just could just tell my body was just going through some changes, because it was like cold turkey quitting alcohol. I wasn't like trying to have 1 or 2 and then stop. It was like, I'm just not going to drink, period, so probably like the middle of the second week, maybe the third week, maybe even sooner, guys. Like I said, this was a long time ago. I should have documented it, but my energy levels was very noticeable, like immediately after maybe like the second week or something like that. Maybe even just on the second week, I noticed I had way more energy. Like I would get up refreshed, no hangover, so I could just get up and just get the day going. I started to do my workouts, my exercises even earlier, because I didn't have any lingering anxieties and headaches and stomach aches first thing in the morning, probably because I was hungover or I made very bad food decisions. So it was just all new energy for me, which was amazing. The energy that lasted like throughout the day, that goes into my next perk or positive, was it kept me more productive. Like I felt way more productive and alert throughout the day, and I felt more creative. Like I usually feel like my most creativity happens a lot in the morning for a few hours. So being able to get up early with no hangover, like I just felt like I was able to get so much work done and felt way more creative, especially with the content creating stuff on the sim side. Like I just felt like I was just being able to push out more stuff. I just felt like I was more alert, more ready, and it just made me feel more of a just productive person throughout the day, because I didn't have like the extra like lag from the night before that's just lingering in, because sometimes it'll be like almost 2 p.m. where I'm like really feeling ready to go, but now it's like I wake up and I'm just ready to rock and roll at like 7 a.m. Wake up, maybe grab a cup of coffee or something like that, and then boom, I'm ready to rock and roll. So yeah, definitely way more energy, more alert, and definitely more productive. Like I feel like I have way more time in the day too, because I'm not like going to lunch and taking long lunches and having a couple beers during lunch, and then I get home, I'm kind of like slow because I'm like fighting off all the effects from the alcohol that I might have drank for lunch. And then I might go to happy hour and sit there for 2 hours and have a drink. But then it's like those 2 hours I could have been productive with something. I could have been, since I'm always complaining that I don't have enough time to get some content creating done when I'm done with my client work. Now I got an extra 2 hours to get some actual other work done in the day to get a head start on stuff, so I feel like I've just been so much more productive, had way more time because I'm not, I'm not just dragging from the night before, or I'm not spending another 2-3 hours just drinking, or whatever, or having effects of the drinking making me slow. Now, don't get me wrong, I still have a social life. I mean, I still go out and do stuff, but it's not as frequent. And it's not like me just sitting at the bar for 2-3 hours and then coming home and having a couple drinks. I just feel a little bit more ready to rock and roll, and I just feel more energetic throughout the day because I don't have any side effects of drinking. So I just wanted to throw that out there as well. I think I honestly can say I feel like I've been less anxious. Now, I do experience a lot of anxieties in my life. I mean, a lot of stress and a lot of anxieties, as you all know throughout the previous episodes. I do go through a lot of anxieties, a lot of stress, maybe some mild depression here and there. Nothing to write home about, but definitely anxiety and stress has been a big issue over the last few years. So I feel like I've been less anxious, at least waking up less anxious. Now I do get some anxieties. I get some normal work anxieties or some performance anxieties here and there, but lately it's been very minimum. Seriously, very minimum anxieties. Like I still get them, and I think they're like more normal anxieties, and it's not as crazy as it used to be. Like some days, especially even a night where I just maybe have 3 or 4 drinks, like I would seriously like wake up in the middle of the night like super anxious. Like I would just wake up super anxious for no reason, and I'll just lay in bed like wow. Or sometimes I'll just be anxious for no reason, and I'll wake up the next morning super anxious after maybe a night of drinking. It can even be just 2 drinks, and then I'll wake up the next day and I'm like feeling weird and stuff. Or maybe I had a lot to drink, and then I wake up, I'm like, man, I hope I didn't do anything crazy. I hope I didn't offend anybody. So you got those kind of worries as well. And then sometimes you just got the lingering anxieties because it's just like you just getting your day started late, and you're just feeling off. And when you feel off, sometimes you can kind of feel a little anxious about it and stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely can say I've been less anxious during these 2 months of just like no alcohol whatsoever. Also losing weight. I lost a little bit of weight. I can definitely say I probably started this no alcohol detox for, I think I was around let's just say maybe like 228, maybe 229, 228. I weighed myself last week. I think I was around like 219. So I'm definitely going to hopefully hit my weight goals by the end of the year. My goal is to be about around 200 pounds by at least the end of the year. So we do have a couple more holidays to get through, but I'm very confident that even if I do start drinking again, at least I know I'll be able to do the drinking portion in moderation, whether it's like I'm to the point now where it'll be special occasions where I might have a drink, or I might go out and have one because I want to try a specific beer or a whiskey or something like that. So it ain't going to be me going out like raving too much, because again, I don't trust me, I do not miss that whatsoever. Like, I am so much happier to wake up in the morning and be just refreshed, no stomach aches, no anxieties. Because anxiety sucks, guys. I hate being anxious. And like I said, I've had a couple occasions where I was a little anxious during the 60 days of no alcohol, and it still sucks. But I have more of a clear mindset during those times when I'm anxious, and I'm just dealing with it straight on versus, like, trying to cover it up with a coping mechanism. Because I felt like maybe I did use alcohol at some points to cope, for coping purposes. So losing a little weight, I felt like kind of motivated me to keep going, because as you lose weight, for some people, it's just on it's a healthier, you're on a healthier path. Like, not all people I'm not saying that, losing weight is because you can be overweight but still healthy in some aspects of your life. You know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of people who might have a little extra pounds on them, and they're just as healthier than me. I'm sitting here with damn cholesterol issues and blood pressure issues, and they don't have any of that. So never judge a book by what it looks like on the outside. It's all about what's inside, like the mental state. Sometimes, because anybody you can be thin and have like high blood pressure. My dad, my stepdad, he's like super skinny, and he had a stroke like almost 14 years ago, because of his blood pressure. So it's, you don't look a certain way to have these certain issues. And he drank a lot too. So he drank alcohol and stuff like that. So maybe that also contributed to his high blood pressure. So definitely lost a lot of weight. Not a lot, but just a little bit, like 10 pounds. That's actually pretty good. I feel like when I exercise, I feel like it's better. Like, I feel like I'm more energetic and I'm more excited to work out, and it's not as hard because, again, I don't feel hungover, and I'm not trying to work out at like 4 at night or 4 p.m. Now I'm like working out around like 10 because I'm like, I got the energy for it. I don't feel sluggish. So it's nice. I've been saving money. I feel like, like the money that I would have spent for alcohol has been going towards my credit card debt. It's been going towards other fun things that I've been able to do, like, go to LA for my best friend's wedding, and splurge a little bit while I was in LA, and splurge a little bit when I was in Long Beach, and then just being able to just just be able to have extra money because I'm not going out and spending a lot of money. Plus, I'm trying to eat a little bit better, so I'm eating at home too, so I'm making better decisions. Because when I'm drinking, it's like, nah, you know what, I'm gonna go out and get me a big box of pizza or some burritos or something like that. So none of that's doing great for my wallet or for my physical. So being saving a lot of money has been nice. And that also goes with going back to being productive. Like, I feel like I've had a better mindset just in general. Like, with all this extra time I've had, I've been able to like budget. I've been able to start monthly budgets and stuff like that, knowing where my money's going. I've been thinking about limiting my caffeine intake because, again, I've been trying to focus on my blood pressure and I don't want in my sleep schedule. So I don't know how sensitive I am with caffeine, but I've been kind of like trying to limit that as well. Like, I haven't had like a cup of caffeinated coffee and it's been probably like a whole week. And I've been like, because I know I always still have like a certain craving. Like, I have had cravings for alcohol, especially earlier in the 30 days. I've been having little cravings, but now I've substitute that with maybe every once in a while I have like some non-alcoholic beers. So I have a whole list of like my go-to non-alcoholic beers now. I drink a lot of sparkling water. I have my go-tos for that. I've had a couple mocktails within the last 68 days, which has been nice, but I'm trying to be really mindful about drinking non-alcoholic beers too, because I am trying to transition into like no added sugar lifestyle here. I'm gonna try that for maybe 30 days and see how that goes, which also limits my alcohol intake as well. So yeah, now I know sugar has been definitely a negative for me, and we can jump into that now, the negatives, and that's craving sugar. Like, I was craving ice cream, just anything that is tasty, sweet, because I think my body was because when your body's processing all that alcohol, it also has the sugar in there. So when I'm not drinking alcohol, it's like trying to find another substitute that is similar. And of course, it's going to be the sugar stuff. So definitely craving things like honey roasted almonds. I had a thing for that for a while. Ice cream. Those were like my go-to. Cookies, So what I would do is I would just like buy like a case of like sparkling water, mineral water. Every once in a while, I'll buy like a little 6-pack of some non-alcoholic beers so I can have those in the fridge when I'm like kind of want to want something like something that can give me that like, okay, I'm done with the day, let me just have something that's just not water, you know what I mean? So I'll drink those. And then when I host bingo nights at Pretzels and Pints on Mondays, I'll maybe, if they have it, I'll have like a couple of those non-alcoholic beers as well. So those are like usually my substitutes throughout the months, and it's good. Like I said, I'll try different. It's just like going to breweries and trying different beers. Now I go and try different, mineral waters, different sparkling waters that might have a little touch of flavoring that has no added sugar in it. And lately I've been on a tea kick. I've been drinking a lot of teas. Like I find like peppermint teas, like spearmint with a mixture of peppermint teas has been my favorite. I've been drinking a lot of chamomile teas, nighttime teas that I feel like help me wind down a little bit. So yeah, I've been drinking a lot of teas. Like when I wake up in the morning, instead of having since I'm limiting my cup of coffee or caffeine in general in the morning, instead of a caffeinated drink, I'll do like a peppermint tea in the mornings. I feel like it gets me going. I feel like it gives me still a little I'm still doing caffeine. I'm just trying to minimize it a little bit, because you definitely get some really good health benefits from drinking caffeine. So I want to keep that in mind, like green teas and coffee, black coffee and stuff like that. Try not to do a lot of sugar, like creams and creameries and stuff like that. I just usually drink my coffee black. So sometimes I do decaf coffee as well. I know decaf, they might have to take out the caffeine, they soak it in some type of water and some like random chemical, but there are some organic ways to remove the caffeine from the coffee beans. So I look for more organic decaf coffees that don't use the specific chemicals that potentially supposed to be bad for you, but there is a small percentage that they supposed to only have in that decaf that's actually supposed to be legal to sell here in US or anywhere, I think. And for the most part, a lot of decaf places keep it within that small percentage of whatever that chemical is that they use to anyway. That's all the nerdy science stuff, because of course I've been doing a lot of research on all these topics, but yeah, definitely that was a negative for me, I think. And honestly, I felt like there wasn't a lot of like withdrawals this time. I didn't get like crazy headaches, or I might have had a couple mood swings. I think mood swings might have been that too. Sometimes when I get in myself, like I'm like thinking about like what am I doing with my life, or if I'm feeling down that day, I don't really have that moment where I can just maybe go to the bar or maybe grab a beer from the fridge and just sit back and have that beer just to catch a quick breather, So sometimes there'll be moments where I'm like, man, like, what, I don't do anything fun. Sometimes I'll be like, man, I don't do anything but work or just work, or try to do more work to just avoid, being with myself, So that was probably it was a challenge for me, is just sitting with myself without the coping mechanism of trying to go and grab a beer just to be like, I'm gonna just grab a beer and relax and wind down and not think about any of that stuff. But now it's just like it's there, and I think about it, I figure out and I deal with it. So that's the only challenge I think when it comes with that. Social outings was a hit or miss. Like most of the time it's fine. Like, I can go out to the bars. Like I went to Comic-Con, drink or anything. I was in a wedding. This was after the 30 days, and I was at a wedding, and I was the best man, so I had to do a toast, and that was like the last time I actually touched alcohol, and that was mid-July, and that was because I gave a toast, and I took one little sip of champagne, and then before that, I think 2 weeks prior, after my 30 days, I had a shoot with a vodka company. They were a client of mine, and we wrapped up our show or our shoot, and they wanted to do a quick cheers. And so again, I did it's like a little salutation, a little salute. So I just did a cheers, and I just took one little sip, like put my lips up to it. And I don't count those two situations because I didn't even really get not even a shot worth of alcohol in my system. And then two was just, I've already told them I wasn't drinking, and so I was just like, the least I can do is just do that, because I didn't want to reset how I felt. Like I didn't want to have like a rough morning because I decided to drink a whole glass of Cosmo or whatever, or a whole glass of champagne. Now I'm going to be going out of the country this week. I'll be leaving Thursday, and at some point within the next 2 weeks, we probably will go and grab a Belgium beer out in Belgium. So that'll probably be the one or two occasions that I might decide to at least try a beer or a taster or something like that. Because again, just going back to the positives, like I just love the benefits that I've been getting. Like I love all the physical, all the mental, and I love the fact that I just love how I feel. I just feel like my social skills are way better too. That's a positive. Thought it was going to be a challenge because I'm hosting bingo every Monday. I'm still going out, and I'm learning to now that I can still carry a conversation, and I don't need alcohol to do that, because a lot of times people sometimes need alcohol to be able to loosen up a little bit and fight off those anxieties. Because if you think about it, we're all anxious a lot of the time, and when we're drinking, we tend to loosen up and not let the anxieties take the best of us, like especially occasions where you're at weddings and you're dancing. Everybody is thinking like, wow, I don't want to go dance because I think people are looking at me. Everybody thinks that, and then at the end of the day, no one cares what you're doing out there on the dance floor, because everybody's in their own mind thinking like, man, I want to dance, but I don't want people looking at me. We're all doing the same thing, so no one cares what you're doing, like. So I'm starting to learn that it's so much easier to know like everybody is just as anxious and probably socially awkward as you, and is probably thinking, why did I say that, or I feel like I'm whatever. So if you just have that mindset, like, what, I'm gonna just have a good conversation, and no one cares, then you're set. Because I never thought I would be able to go to these bingo nights and host, bingo to some bunch of not drunk people, but just to a lot of people who were just out having fun and drinking. And I could still do the same and still be energetic, and it's great. And I just, like I said, I have a really clear mindset. I feel like I can chat a lot better, and I feel like I can just come off and be more clear and quick, with more witty too. I feel like I can just come off with some really funny things to say when I'm hosting bingo nights. So I thought that would be a challenging, but really it wasn't. It was a test. But even some of my, honestly, the best night of my not life, but one of the best moments I had this year so far was a night where me and my buddy, my best friend, we were both in Long Beach for a 2-day Halloween horror convention called Midsummer Scream. And that night in Long Beach, we went and hit up the town. Like, we went to a few bars, actually. I think we went about maybe 4 different places. And I had so much fun. It was just like, me catching up with my best friend, us being in a new city, and we went to all these bars. I had some water. I had my Topo Chico. They had sparkling water, and I had a freaking blast. I had so much fun, guys. It was great. And then even at my best friend's wedding reception, that was a lot of fun, just seeing everybody happy and dancing on the dance floor and just being with my best friend, seeing my best friend get married. Again, highlights that I will be able to cherish and remember. And I still had a good time, and I woke up the next day feeling refreshed and ready to rock and roll. So yeah, I think those could have been challenges, but I think it actually improved the way I can be social and still have fun, and I can still go out and enjoy my time. And then lifestyle, I think, with lifestyle changes that I made in these last 60 days, was just basically, I felt like I just worked a lot more to keep me, well, I'm always busy, but I think the times where I would have been out, or the times where I would have maybe been a little bit more slow getting to certain tasks, I think I was a little bit quicker and more alert. So I worked more, I think, throughout these 60 days. I think I also exercised a lot more and a lot better, which I think improved my fitness level and my physique. And I didn't really go out too much. I didn't go to a lot of bars. I feel like I saved money. Not a lot of people really hit me up, and if they did hit me up, I wouldn't hesitate and say, hey, I'm down. I wouldn't stay out all night at bars, because so I would still go out and be social and have a couple waters, or whatever they had to offer to keep me have something in my hand. So yeah, I think my lifestyle adapted to not just to certain things. I felt like even when I was going out drinking a lot, it was kind of just me and Lisa, or I just go out on happy hour up the street by myself. So it wasn't like people were already inviting me to hang out in a way. So I was already kind of doing my own thing. But the lesson of this story is you can still go out and have a good time and not get all crazy drunk. And sometimes I think it's nice to give your liver a break, at least for a few days, a couple weeks, because alcohol really sits in your system for at least 48 plus some hours. So think about that. So if you're drinking daily, it's like your liver doesn't stop processing the poison that you're putting into your body. So sometimes just taking that nice little detox is kind of nice. And yeah, and like I said, I just felt great about it. I feel really good about it. So in conclusion, I feel great. I look great. My health has improved, and I feel like I've learned a lot about myself in these last 68 some days. And I feel like I learned about other people around me. I also feel like I'm just a better person to be around, and I just felt like the quality of the work that I've been pushing out has been better. I feel like I've been bettering myself. Like I've been thinking about things to do to better like my life, my work ethic, just my relationships. So I just felt like I just had like a clear mindset to be able to just do all this stuff, setting more realistic goals, actually reaching milestones during these last 60 days has been nice. Doing just some good quality work, both professionally and for my content that I do on the side as well, has been great. So I just think just the 30 days alone has just been a very positive outlook. And this is just for me. This is a personal thing I wanted to do. And like I said, I'm probably going to try to get back into moderate drinking at some point, but at this point in time in my life, I'm in no hurry. Like I said, I love these benefits of everything that I'm experiencing. So with that being said, like, let me know how you guys are. Like, have you done a 30-day, 60-day? Are you completely sober? Like how has that journey been for you? Like, can you agree with some of these challenges I had, or can you agree with some of the positives? Or did you experience something totally different? Like, I have a friend that did a 90-day a 90-day no alcohol detox, and we're gonna hopefully chat about her journey at some point sooner than later while it's still fresh. But one of her things that she didn't experience was better quality sleep, which is interesting because for me, I experienced that. So it's different for everybody. So I'm kind of curious to see other people's perks and benefits that they've received from just not drinking alcohol for, let's just say, 2 weeks. Some people notice things just in 2 weeks or however long that they decide to do. So thanks for listening. I did take a month off from podcasting, and actually 2 months off. I apologize. 2 months off from podcasting. I wanted to keep this consistent, but I haven't started promoting the podcast yet, so I'm probably going to start promoting that next month. So we have a whole archive of content. So I am still on schedule, and I'm hopefully going to have some guests on here, and we're going to chat about all things life, because this is a all things life podcast. So anyway, with that being said, thanks for listening in. It's your boy Jannar. This is the Social Nardcast Hour. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you. Peace.